Good morning, everyone. It's just after 7 o'clock on Monday morning. It is a cold morning out there. Temperature at my house, 27 degrees. I will admit it is colder than I wanted it to be this morning for obvious reasons. So we'll just dive right into it. It's going to be, as I mentioned yesterday, it's going to be a cold day, first and foremost. It's going to be wet slash frozen a little bit. We'll get into that in just a second. So let's talk about the here and now, which is probably on most people's mind. What's it going to do this morning? And so I think the best way to illustrate that is to go straight to the radar. Now, this is a interesting layer of the radar. This is what they kind of jokingly referred to as the winter layer. It's not technically called that, but this is this is where the radar beam is very sensitive to what's out in the air. It can depict very small droplets of water or drizzle, or unfortunately in this case, freezing drizzle. So this brown area that you see represents freezing drizzle. So you can kind of get an idea. It's pretty widespread. Now, having said all that, get my cursor to work. Having said all that, not all of this is reaching the ground. So this is a loft, like the radar likes to show. This beam is shooting out about 2,000 feet above the ground in most cases, a little bit closer to the radar in Fort Worth. So when you put this in motion, you see these waves of drizzle moving across, and I think that's what you're going to see most of the day. I think it's not going to be an all-day thing. It'll be a little heavier freezing drizzle, then it'll let up. And so that's what we're going to see until probably later in the afternoon, and especially after sunset, I think is when the main event will still start. So this is just one of those things that is very hard to predict in the any time frame out, especially 6 hours, something like that, like we were talking about last night. But it's here, not totally surprising. There was a chance of this. But so far, it's not having a big impact. Now, there have been some accidents out there, no doubt about it, especially west Fort Worth and Denton County, Tarrant County. I haven't heard a ton about that in our area, but just be careful if you're going out today. The roads, at least initially, should be okay. Bridges and overpasses will be something that you definitely want to watch. That's for sure. Just no matter what you do today, just take it easy, because I think that is something that we're all going to have to be cognizant of today. All right, so let's get to the graphics here and kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. So first and foremost, the Winter Storm Watch has been upgraded to a Winter Storm Warning, and that's no big surprise. We talked about that yesterday, thinking that it was going to be upgraded. So all of North Texas is under the Winter Storm Warning. You may remember just a part of the North Texas was under the Winter Storm Watch, but all of North Texas is under Winter Storm Warning. Technically not in effect till noon today until 6 a.m. Wednesday. I think that's going to change, not necessarily when it starts, but it may be extended beyond 6 a.m. Wednesday. It all depends on what happens tonight and tomorrow, to be honest. So that's the impact that we have. Definitely going to get cold, definitely going to get wet, moisture, frozen, most likely as well. All right, so let me get my slides to work here. Here we go. Let's see, let's do this. It is early. Okay, so travel impacts. We kind of talked about that briefly here just for a little bit. So I don't necessarily like this graphic. It's a little confusing, but so where you see the orange on the left, that is a medium confidence of having minor travel impacts. So interpret that early in the morning. But basically, I think the takeaway is just be careful this morning. That's really what it comes down to, and really all day today. The middle graph talks about the chances of seeing moderate travel impacts low. Then there's no major travel impacts expected with this scenario today, and that's mainly because of the freezing drizzle. Hello, Misty. I saw your comment there. Yes, it is cold. That is for sure. And so timeline, again, the pink represents freezing drizzle. The red represents freezing rain. The green represents rain. So it's really already started, 6 a.m. today. I don't think we'll see a big change in that until, again, around sunset. So I don't know of any school cancellations that's going on in their area, so I think you can expect school to just continue. I think everything's going to be okay. Like I said, I just think everybody just needs to take it easy. And I think we'll be fine. We could just get through today with no major travel impacts. I still think that's going to be the case. So I don't think it's anything to be terribly concerned about. But again, just use caution. I just can't overemphasize that enough. So there's our timeline for some of the impacts. Like I said, after sunset is where we're going to see that. And oops, go back there. So it's a little bit different slide than what we saw, graphic than what we saw just a second ago, which again, a little confusing in my estimation, but hey, I didn't create these. So this is tomorrow. What's the confidence of moderate travel impacts in the red? You can see pretty much everywhere. Major, medium confidence tomorrow. Infrastructure impacts on the right. Damage to power lines, tree damage. There's some thinking that there may be a low impact on that, and let's hope that's the case. And like I mentioned yesterday, let's hope when the main events start, let's hope we get more sleet than we do freezing drizzle, freezing rain, because that doesn't really accumulate, or sleet does not accumulate on power lines. Freezing rain accumulates on power lines, and that causes problems. That causes power outages. All right, so what's it going to do tomorrow? Well, here's one of our models. This is the pessimistic model that I talk about. And it doesn't look great. Now, we kind of expected that, and this is the pink, if you will, represents freezing rain. The purple represents sleet, and way up in North Oklahoma, the blue represents snow. So again, this is not a snow event. Don't expect to see any snow. I do hope we see more sleet than snow, that is for sure. And then we have another model that's kind of in the middle. You don't see near as much precipitation, but again, the precipitation that you do see is frozen. And our warm model, this is something that I talked about yesterday as well. This is tomorrow, by the way. So if you believe this model, then this is all going to be about nothing. I don't really buy off on this particular model. This seems to be the outlier for most of them, although it's kind of the one I hope happens. But it's I'm not putting a lot of stock in it, but it's been pretty consistent. This is a model that if you were to take it at face value, would show temperatures this afternoon in the mid 30s, upper 30s, and of course that would not cause any problems at all. So this is maybe has a warm bias, that's for sure, but it's held pretty steady. So I think it's something just to keep in mind, and I think it's just another way to illustrate it's another way to illustrate that these winter weather forecasts can be pretty tricky. So, but again, I think overall we're going to see frozen precipitation, unfortunately. All right, so and then you can't really see this probably very well, but it's just it's a text illustration of all the different models, and again, most of them trend cold, but it is something that it's just all over the place. Some like one of these models has a temperature of 40 degrees this afternoon. I wish that was going to be the case, but I don't think so. So that's kind of where we're at. So the bottom line is that we are going to see, and I'm going to put the radar back up here real quick. Let's see, put this over here. So the bottom line is this, and I'll put this in motion. So we're going to see, cloudy conditions, cold conditions, breezy conditions today. North winds not going to make it feel good at all. Wind chills in the 20s and maybe upper teens. And as the radar shows right now, occasional freezing drizzle. Most of the issues would be on elevated surfaces, not so much roads. Let's cross our fingers on that. And that probably wouldn't be a case until later today, probably towards sunset, and then overnight and tomorrow. So we'll have much more on that later today. So I wanted to give everybody a quick update this morning. I know everybody's heading out to school, heading out to work, which is going to be my case here pretty soon. So I wanted to give you a live update real quick, kind of show you graphically what's going on. And I want to thank our sponsor for this live stream update, Amen Plumbing. Amen Plumbing will take care of you. And after they take care of you, you will say amen. Thank you, Amen Plumbing. And hopefully, we will not need a lot of plumbing services, at least as it goes for, frozen pipes. I just don't think it's going to be that kind of, won't get that cold, so I don't have to worry about that. Well, as always, I'm watching the weather so you don't have to. Hope everyone has a great morning. Be careful, be safe out there, and I will be talking to you most likely later today. Have a good one, everybody.